Hello, y'all. So, uh, there we go. Hello, y'all. So, we do have a marginal risk through here for today, and then a slight risk, I'm guessing, right here. So, S and then M. And the reason I'm pretty sure why there's a slight risk through through here generally for Louisiana and Mississippi, and possibly Alabama, is because when this gets past the border of Texas, we're gonna get a low pressure that goes through cyclogenesis, plus we're gonna get a QLCS threat that is going to run through Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama, and a little bit of Florida. The low pressure will get down to 999 at least, and then go out towards the East Coast. Could pose a little bit of a threat as a Miller B nor'easter for the southern Northeast, for like Maryland, northern Delaware, most of New Jersey, all of southeastern Pennsylvania, and some of eastern Pennsylvania, southern New York state, and the heart of New York, or capital, whatever, which would be New York City, and then Connecticut and Rhode Island. Then when we get this generally strong negative PNA, where it's colder over here in the west finally, and way warmer in the east and central. But this is the 18Z run. And the GFS is showing it flipping right back to a positive PNA. And then neutraling out again, generally, with a very weak positive PNA, if anything. But we do start to get buildup of moisture through here, which is a good sign, but not at the same time. And as y'all know, I typically watch through here and through here near the Azores. I basically watch the Central Atlantic plus near the Azores Islands for any subtropical development or any cutoff lows, because those could develop into anything. Do have a weak area of organized thunderstorms that will be going northeast, but nothing too severe. Could get a potential of a subtropical storm that forms up and then heads right back south. Goes north, then west, then southwest, and then south. That is a true cutoff upper level low. Because you can see how the jet stream is like that generally, and how this just dives right south as this trough barges into its territory. And you can clearly see that could have a front-induced low right there, but so far it's looking weak. Plus, if you go back farther, or back a little bit in the model run, could see some increased moisture right here down in the Caribbean Sea, whatever you want to call it. Basically the Caribbean, though. And that moisture could hit, I forgot what those are called. Panama, Nicaragua, Honduras, I don't know, Guatemala. Anywhere in this region we'll see increased moisture because this cold front is gonna be stalled right here, which means y'all get ocean effect rain showers for the coast of Nicaragua, Belize, and stuff like that, or Honduras and stuff like that, and then Nicaragua gets the warmer ones, and then any countries or whatever down near Brazil or down here will be getting thunderstorms likely. Weak though. And as I thought, we are definitely gonna see a storm system that forms up. So yeah. And we will see a positive PNA with a little southeaster ridge in effect, basically. But that could quickly change because that ridge in the west is making its way over. And this area that was generally over here will track to the east. And it could go through baroclinic processes through here. As you can see, generally winds are going like that. So there is generally some sort of wave of wind, or tropical wave, whatever you want to call it. Wind shear on the said system won't be favorable for sure, though you can see it definitely bends where the system is. Moisture is definitely there. This could pull this type of track. That would be crazy if we actually see a subtropical storm in March, because that's by March 1st. Here's the winds. And yeah, that first area will not have any cold front as it goes like this. And in this system, you could definitely see how the winds go like this, and then the winds go like this. You can literally see that we have some sort of low pressure trying to eject northwest. So I am definitely watching this area, even though if I go to analysis tools and ocean analysis, North Atlantic, that general area is generally in the teens to 20s for Celsius. But that would be like 70s to 60s generally. But that area is warmer than average. Crazy thing is, this entire area through here is colder than average. Through here. Generally. And then out here in the East Pacific is colder than average also. And we're going right into an El Nino, as you can see. You can start to see it. There is a weak El Nino starting to appear. But we still have those cold waters from the La Nina. Yep, as I thought. We are going on a warming trend for the CDOS and our Nino 3.4 index. That's the one you're supposed to look at, really. The lowest we've been was like 1.3 degrees below average. But that was between December 19th and January 2nd. We've been above above -1 degree Celsius from roughly right between this line to now, as you can see, which would be February 13th. Oh, so that system could pull a type of subtropical look, maybe? Not sure. And that system in the Atlantic doesn't look like it's gonna form up into anything. But this could definitely stall and then go back inland. It ain't uncommon for February type storms. And yes, I think it will do that, because you can see where there's a trough axis like that. That means it does have a chance at becoming baroclinic. Yep, there's a trough. It is generally located in the trough, maybe. Maybe not. But if it shifts any more to the west, then it will be onshore likely. Or if this trough or upper level low shifts more southern and eastern and gets over this low pressure, then we could see a subtropical storm. But that would all have to come in fruition if this ridge right here builds like this, and then that trough goes like this. This is the type of jet stream we would have to have. Because then the low pressure would be able to track western. So yeah. And I've also been watching a system that generally forms through here. Well, it ain't as strong as it's been appearing, but it is still definitely forming. Gets down to about 1,003 millibars and then tracks southwest. And then could see an actual subtropical storm. Like actual. This cannot be made up, bro. Look at this. Type of track like this. You can see a frontal boundary right there. And a frontal boundary right there. I don't know how it gets through those. Can't check that. Can't really check that. What about the winds? Okay. Here's the winds. So here's that first subtropical system that goes north and then this way. Well, if we want to, let me do this real quick. There's a system, it's gonna go like this. And then go back to the southeast as we get another front-induced system, and then this system. And then we get another front-induced low pressure. So this one does have a warm front and a cold front. And maybe another cold front. So yeah, this one would likely be non-tropical. This one is trop, which stands for tropical. Let me check something. Do I got this one? Okay. This will tell me how much moisture is in these systems. So that first area, really not much moisture. The second one, though, as it strengthens and gets more subtropical, it does get an inner core. A tight inner core, which does keep moisture. So there is this band of dry air that is between the very tropical moisture and the subtropical moisture with the subtropical storm. That's a few key takeaways. And while that's all happening, we will have to watch way over here, southwest of the Philippines generally, because could have a possibly tropical depression or PTC that tries to go north and maybe ride the coast of the Vietnam coast. But that is unlikely for only February. But you can clearly see there is a low pressure right here. And if I go to the winds, there's nothing. But if I go back on the winds, there is a low. So could see a brief tropical depression or storm in southwest of the Philippines and a spin up of a subtropical storm. Maybe two. Now for the Indian Ocean, okay. We will have, well, we do already have a tropical cyclone off the east coast of South Africa, but that's gonna go towards the southwest coast of Madagascar and potentially make landfall as like a 995 or something like that, and then it will eventually get slingshotted and then slingshotted again. Something like that. Then it dies off right here. And that's the end of that one. Then we get another one way out here. And that one gets slingshotted south to the South Pole by the frontal system of this, or the front, or trough, whatever you want to call it. The trough of this just yoinks this thing and slingshots the damn thing south. And then it could have a late, or more like a late season type storm for the Indian Ocean, as it just stays generally weak. And extremely broad. And I probably know why. Because there's going to be a frontal system that slowly makes its way north. and that pushes all the moisture out of Australia generally. And that gets all the moisture to coalesce, or whatever it's called, or eventually spin up into this system and could get a broad, weak tropical cyclone that gets down to 994 twice and then dies off, or starts to die off as it gets just east of the west coast of Australia. Now the Southwest Pacific, I am watching a couple systems. This one is gonna become non-tropical as it bombs out right here. This one will be a tropical system, but won't likely become a tropical cyclone because it's just too weak, even though it does have the moisture. After this big cold front rolls through, basically the Southwest Pacific is just like a switch on, off. It's like it goes on a off switch. Like literally. Might have a chance at a subtropical storm that is front induced, but generally nothing to be worried about. The Southeast Pacific do have some tropical development, but nothing too strong. And the moisture ain't really that great. I'm back now. Finally for the South Atlantic. We did have this system that generally is just tracking around this high. We will have two systems to look at in the near future. You got this one and then this one as it strengthens as it goes towards South Africa. Then we have a Monk. Get back up there. Get under there. But could have a front induced low as it picks up this low. Then could have more front induced action. Twice actually. And that second area could become a tropical storm. Potentially. And then maybe a subtropical storm as it strengthens and then heads east. Then we could get a subtropical storm off the coast of South America generally, but a bit south, basically due south of far southern Brazil. And then could see another system. Now Europe, y'all are not in the greatest weather until we all get a ridge, if I'm correct. Let's check on the precip. Yeah. So, ridging in the West Europe and then troughing in the east part of Europe. And yes, I do believe this system will become subtropical. Because it will just have the right amount of moisture to get going. But we are for sure seeing a buildup of moisture in the Atlantic Ocean. We have 2 areas to watch in the Atlantic, 2 or 3 areas to watch in the North Pacific, and then 1 or 2 areas to watch in the Indian Ocean, and that's it. Temperatures now. We do eventually go down into the below freezing temperatures. Could get a pretty strong Arctic blast, but it's not long lasting. It only lasts 1, 2, 3, 4 nights, or 4 days generally. And then we warm right back up. So what I'm thinking is we are generally going into spring. And as you can see, the snow is the heaviest snow is starting to get more northern. At least for the central and east United States. The snow could go like that, but yeah. Heaviest snow would be generally through here and then maybe down through here. There will be a little bit of snow through the panhandle of Texas and Oklahoma, and basically the whole state of Oklahoma, with a little tiny bit of Oklahoma and Arkansas being out of the picture. Or in that, though, all of Arkansas or Tennessee, Ohio, Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, New York State, Vermont, New Hampshire, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and Maine, and Michigan, and Wisconsin, Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, and that's it for all the states that are fully engulfed in snow. Here's the winds on this system. You can see the inner core is weak, but when it comes to that cold front, bro, it's strong. You can literally see the non-tropical / subtropical wind field that this thing has. And then the more tropical wind field. I truly think that this system could go north and possibly become a subtropical storm that could go like this. But on that, y'all see in the next one.